buhay. Laging may pagsubok na dumarating, Diyos ang patuloy natin. Lahat ng hirap ngayong nararanasan ay pansamantala. Programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Equilibrium Probiotics. Ito ay ang bagong food supplement na gawa sa mga piling gulay at prutas at dumaan sa isang masusing proseso para mapangalagaan ang inyong kalusugan. Ang Equilibrium Probiotics ay dinisenyo para sa kalusugan ng ating tiyan, tulungan ng pagkuha ng sapat na nutrisyon at ang pagpapalabas sa ating sistema ng mga nakakasirang toxins. Ang Equilibrium Probiotics ay may iba't ibang disenyo at sangkap base sa inyong pangangailangan. Mula sa boost para sa mga bata, fortitude, boost to brain, miracle fruit, periwinkle, at ang pinakabago, liver fruit. Ang Equilibrium Probiotics ay may pagmamalaki na produktong gawa sa kanila. Ito ay mabibili sa Lachette, Geta Road, San Sebastian, Phase 3, Dinauganan, Tarlac City. At para sa mga malalayong lugar, mabibili din ang produkto ng Equilibrium Probiotics sa Lazada. Ito ay eksklusibong gawa ni Ginang Malu Reyes Murray. Ano pang hinihintay nyo, mga kasangga? Hala, bili na! MSB Kape at Balita sa Umaga. Hatid sa inyo ni Kuya Dong. Magandang umaga po, mga kasangga, kakampi, kaanak, kapamilya. Andito naman po ang inyong Kuya Dong. It's Monday, June 5, 2023. At siyempre po, tuwing umaga, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, makakasama din niyo ako sa ating regular na programang MSB Kape at Balita sa Umaga. Pero bago po natin simulan ang ating maikling pagbabalita, samahan niyo po muna ako sa isang panalangin. Sa ngalan ng Ama at ng Anak ng Espiritu Santo. Amen. Mahal naming lumikha, maraming salamat sa bagong araw na ipinagkaloob ninyo sa amin, sa mapayapang gabing lumipas, at sa patuloy na pagbuhos ng iyong mga biyaya sa amin at sa aming bayan. Nawa ipagkaloob mo pa sa amin ang lakas at tibay ng loob upang mapaglabanan ng kasamaan at manatili po kami sa paggawa ng mabuti sa kapwa at pagsunod sa inyong itinurong tamang landas. Lahat ng gawain namin, inaalay namin sa iyong anak na si Jesus, na aming Panginoon. Amen. Sa ngalan ng Ama, ng Anak, ng Espiritu Santo. Amen. A summary of our headlines for today from Philippine Star. Bivalent jobs now available. News from home. A summary of the headlines for the month of June. Saudi hiring 1 million OFWs. Maharlika updates. Goodbye, Itbulaga. Philippine Coast Guard. No fisher folk displays by exercises with US, Japan. China warns NATO-like alliances could lead to conflict in Asia Pacific. National security law in Hong Kong. Updates also on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Taal volcano showing increased activity. Ilocos College chief dies in road mishap. And the last of our news summary is Alex Iala wins third ITF title, rose W25 Yekla in Spain. Bivalent jobs now available. Manila, Philippines. With the bivalent vaccines against COVID-19 finally available in the country, the Department of Health advised the eligible population to get a third booster jab against COVID-19. The DOH reported that over 390,000 bivalent vaccine doses donated by Lithuania arrived in the country late Saturday. To every eligible one and one, we urge everyone to get the opportunity to gain longer and stronger protection by getting vaccinated against COVID-19. DOH Officer in Charge Maria Rosario Berjere said following the arrival of the bivalent vaccines at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport on Naya. Within our reach is a beautiful future, one that is most achievable starting with ensuring that we have sufficient protection against COVID-19 virus, Berjere added. She explained that the donated bivalent vaccines will help boost the Philippines' COVID-19 response by providing protection against the original COVID-19 strain, SARS-CoV-2, and Omicron subvariants BA4 and BA5. The donated bivalent vaccine doses, closely guarded by the NAIA Bureau of Customs team, were loaded onto 5 trucks that transported to a cold storage facility in Parañaque City. DOH has long been pushing for the acquisition of bivalent vaccines, which can provide Filipinos better protection against COVID-19. The agency noted that the Lithuanian government offered to donate bivalent vaccines to the Philippines last January. The arrival of the donated vaccines suffered delay due to logistical and administrative issues. Health Assistant Secretary Leonita Borgolon and Department of Foreign Affairs and officials received the donated vaccines. DOH continues coordinating with the COVAX facility to get additional doses of bivalent vaccines. Under DOH guidelines on the management and administration of the donated bivalent vaccines, those eligible to receive their third booster shots are healthcare workers A1 and senior citizens A2. Eligible individuals may be vaccinated with the bivalent vaccines at least 4 to 6 months after getting their second booster shots. Where is the 12 billion frontliners allowance? Meanwhile, Camarines Sur Rep. El Rey Villafuerte, principal author of the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, or Bayanihan 1, at the House of Representatives, yesterday called out the DOH over its continued failure to release the
57 billion in COVID-19 allowances for frontliners. In a statement, Villafuerte said the frontliners have not received their COVID-19 allowances from the DOH despite the pronouncement from the Department of Budget and Management that they already released the fund to the health agency. We want to know from the DOH when it intends to release the balance of about 12.57 billion from the 19.96 billion in COVID-19 benefits and allowances due to HCWs or healthcare workers. The non-healthcare workers for their medical services rendered to our people at the height of the pandemic, he said. This leaves a bad taste in the mouth, Villapuerte claimed, underscoring that allowances are provided for under Republic Act 11469 or the Bayanihan 1. Citing a United Private Hospital Unions of the Philippines report, the lawmaker pointed out that 20.304 healthcare workers have not received, or 20,304 healthcare workers have not received their mandated COVID-19 allowances and other benefits totaling 1.94 billion since October of 2021. Medical frontliners working in 23 private hospitals in Metro Manila and in Batangas, Cavite, Cebu, and Davao del Sur are the beneficiaries in waiting. Where is the balance of 12.57 billion ostensibly released by the DBM for the payment of arrears in emergency benefits and allowances due our HCWs and non-HCWs? Villafuerte asked. Additional report from Rudy Santos and Sheila Crisostomo. News from home. Saudi's hiring 1 million OFWs. Maharlika updates and goodbye with Bulaga. Report from KC Balmonte of the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. From Saudi Arabia looking to hire more Filipino workers, Congress greenlighting the creation of a sovereign wealth fund to the sudden departure of main host from Eid Bulaga. These were among our headlines and news stories from the past week we think you should know if you're a Filipino based abroad. Overseas Filipino. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia wants to hire 1 million skilled Filipino workers over the next 2 years as the Gulf state addresses its labor needs in the hospitality, construction, and information and technology sectors. Saudi Arabia will be sending a technical team to the Philippines this month to discuss the program, while the Philippines looks for ways to enable opportunities without compromising the industries back home. European envoys have raised concern after a Senate version of the Magna Carta for seafarers scrapped the escrow provision, which would protect seafarers and industry employers from predatory lawyers who practice ambulance chasing or when lawyers encourage seafarers even with minor injuries to file for large settlements. Ambassadors warned that without the provision, the competitiveness of Filipino seafarers, who make up about 14% of the industry, may be threatened. Moving on to the next update, prosecutors have indicted 8 people for running a human trafficking scheme in Pampanga, where authorities rescued more than 12,000 victims duped into working in a cryptocurrency investment scam. More than 900 rescued are foreign nationals, while there were 465 Filipinos. Workers who wish to be deployed overseas have been warned against contracting fixers to get an expedited release of their overseas employment certificates. The Bureau of Immigration last week intercepted a batch of aspiring overseas Filipino workers who paid 500 to 7,000 for the bogus document. warning that each database is connected with the Department of Migrant Workers and it will be easy to spot fakes. Work and economy. Both chambers of Congress have approved a measure creating the controversial Maharlika Investment Fund, which is now awaiting the signature of the president. Senators green-lighted the bill in a nearly 12-hour-long session last week, while the House readily adopted the Senate version. While the bill now prohibits state-run pension funds such as SSS, GSIS, and the OWA pension funds from investing in the sovereign wealth fund, groups still aired concern as this might become a new vehicle for corruption. A social weather station survey conducted from March 26 to 29 showed that only 29% of Filipino adults said their quality of life improved in the past year, while 25% noted their quality of life got worse as inflation woes continue to affect most adults. Almost half or 46%, almost half or 46% said that it has remained the same. A separate SWS poll, however, showed that 42% of Filipinos are hoping that their lives will improve in the next 12 months. Politics and the nation. One of the country's top noontime shows in Bulaga might no longer air on GMA Network after its main host, Vic Soto, his brother, and former Senator Tito Soto and Joey De Leon announced their departure from television and Production Exponents Incorporated, or TAPE Incorporated. Following the three main hosts' departure, other Itbulaga hosts filed a mass resignation that included Paulo Ballesteros, Jose Manalo, Maine Mendoza, Raisa May Dison, Wally Bayola, Ryan Agosillo, as well as the host, writers, sales, production, and cameraman. Yeah. Another major journalist was murdered. Crescenciano Bundoking was shot by two unknown assailants as he was setting up shop early Wednesday last week in Oriental Mindoro. He is the third journalist killed since President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. took office, and authorities have since offered a 50,000 bounty for whoever point to the suspect of his killing. Groups have since called on the government to act on media killings. Rainy season has officially begun back home following passage of Tropical Storm Betty, international name Mawar, and with the southwest monsoon bringing widespread rains to the western part of the zone and besides. You can also view the week's rundown in your Philippine Star website. Moving on to our global headline news. China warns NATO-like alliances could lead to conflict in Asia Pacific. Report from Agence France Press to the Philippine Star. Singapore. China's defense minister warned Sunday against establishing NATO-like military alliances in the Asia Pacific, saying they would plunge the region into a whirlpool of conflict. Li Shangfu's comments came a day after US and Chinese military vessels sailed close to each other in the Flashpoint Taiwan Strait, an incident that provoked anger from both sides. Attempts to push for NATO-like alliances in the Asia-Pacific is a way of kidnapping regional countries and exaggerating conflicts and confrontations, he told the Security Conference in Singapore, also attended by U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. Lee said these alliances would plunge the Asia-Pacific into a whirlpool of disputes and conflicts. Lee did not name any country, but his comments echoed long-held Chinese criticism of the United States seeking to shore up alliances in the region. The United States is a member of the AUKUS alliance, which groups it with Australia and Britain. Washington is also a member of the Quad group, which includes Australia, India, and Japan. Today's Asia Pacific needs open and inclusive cooperation, not buddying up into small cliques, Lee said at the Shangri-La Dialogue Security Summit. We must not forget the severe disasters brought by the two world wars to peoples of all countries, and we must not allow such tragic history to repeat itself. Conflict fears. On Saturday, Austin called for top-level defense dialogue with Beijing to prevent miscalculations that could draw both superpowers into conflict. The more that we talk, the more that we can avoid misunderstandings and miscalculations that could lead to crisis or conflict, Austin said. Austin and Lee shook hands and spoke briefly for the first time at an opening dinner on Friday, but there was no substantive exchange. The United States had invited Lee to meet with Austin on the sidelines of the conference, but the Pentagon and said Beijing declined. A member of China's delegation told AFP that the removal of U.S. sanctions on its minister eh, is a precondition for talks. There have been some signs of improved dialogue between the two nations. CIA Director William Burns made a secret trip to China last month, a U.S. official announced on Friday. And Assistant Secretary of State, East Asian and Pacific Affairs Daniel Crittenbrink will travel to China on Sunday for a rare visit. However, the U.S. and Chinese militaries have also engaged in dangerous encounters in two of the most sensitive areas in the region, the Taiwan Strait and the South China Sea. U.S. and Canadian warships sailed through the Taiwan Strait on Saturday, the waterway that separates self-ruled Taiwan from China. The United States on accused a Chinese Navy ship of sailing in an unsafe manner near the U.S. vessel, the destroyer Chang'un. China claims Taiwan as its territory, vowing to take it one day by force if necessary, and has in recent years ramped up military and political pressure on the island. The Taiwan Straits encounter followed what the U.S. military said was an unnecessarily aggressive maneuver by one of Beijing's fighters near one of Washington's surveillance planes in the South China Sea last week. We remain concerned about the PLA's increasingly risky and coercive activities in the region, including in recent days, said Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder, who is traveling with Austin following Lee's speech. A senior U.S. defense official also told reporters actions speak louder than words, and the dangerous behavior we've seen from the PLA around the strait in the South and East China Seas and beyond really says it all. In his speech Saturday, Lloyd outlined Washington's extensive partnerships in the region, which it calls the Indo-Pacific, and held talks with his counterparts from allies and partners. America's partnerships are bringing the region closer together to help keep it free, open, and secure, he said. National security law in Hong Kong as it happens, from Philippine Star. Hong Kong. Hong Kong police detained Alexandra Wong, a prominent democracy activist, better known as Grandma Wong, on Sunday, the 34th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square crackdown. AFP reporters said Wong was carrying flowers in Hong Kong's Causeway Bay shopping district, an area that for years was the site of June 4, 1989 commemorations before authorities escorted her to a police van. AFP reporters saw a total of 6 people bundled into police vehicles. From Agence France Press. Updates on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. An airstrike hit a residential district in the central Ukrainian city of Dnipro, killing a 2-year-old girl and injuring 22 others, officials said Sunday. The attack, which President Vladimir Zelensky blamed on Russia, partially destroyed a pair of 2-story buildings as well as 10 private homes, a shop, a gas pipeline, according to the region's governor. Russian airstrikes over Ukraine have ratcheted up in recent weeks as have incursions in the opposite direction. Kiev has for months said it is preparing a major counteroffensive against Moscow's occupation forces, hoping to reclaim territory lost since Russia invaded in February of 2022. After Saturday's strike, a girl's body was pulled from the wreckage. Moving on to our regional updates. Taal volcano showing increased activity. Reports by Bella Carriazo to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. State volcanologists are closely monitoring Taal volcano in Batangas, which has been showing increased activity since Saturday night. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, of PHIVOLCS, said Taal released at least 5,831 tons per day of sulfur dioxide, and an upwelling of hot volcanic fluids has been occurring at the main crater. In a bulletin issued at 1 p.m. yesterday, PHIVOLCS said the volcano's plume emissions reached 3,000 meters high. Since 10:30 p.m. of June 3, the volcano showed increased degassing activity and produced voluminous steam-rich plumes that rose 3,000 meters above the Taal volcano island, PHIVOLCS said. The plumes produced volcanic smog or fog over the Taal caldera, it said. The fog blanketed the towns of Agoncillo, Balete, Batangas, and Laurel yesterday morning, PHIVOLCS said. Experts said the fog, which contains fine droplets of volcanic gas, could irritate the eyes, throat, and respiratory tract. People with asthma and lung and heart diseases, as well as the elderly, children, and pregnant women, should limit their exposures to fog. They should stay indoors and shut doors and windows to block out the fog, PHIVOLCS said, adding acid rain and volcanic gas emissions can occur in areas where plumes disperse. PHIVOLCS said 5,831 ton average per day of sulfur dioxide emissions from Taal is higher than last month's average of 3,556 tons. Experts noticed a short-term inflation of the northwestern sector of the volcano, as well as a long-term deflation of the caldera. It said steam-driven or phreatic explosions, volcanic earthquakes, minor ashfall, and lethal accumulations or expulsions of volcanic gas could occur anytime. Entry into volcano island's permanent danger zone, especially at the main crater and the Ang Astila fissures, is prohibited as Alert Level 1 remains hoisted over Taal. Flying of aircraft close to the volcano's crater is also not allowed. Ilocos College chief dies in road mishap. Reports by Joan Elias to the Philippine Star. Camp Lorendo, La Union, Philippines. The president of the Polytechnic State College in Ilocos Sur died after his car hit a van and collided with a bus in Santa, Ilocos Sur on Saturday. Gilbert Arce, 54, of Vigan City, was declared dead on arrival in a nearby hospital due to head and body injuries. Investigation showed that Arce was driving a pickup truck in Barangay Mabibilla when he hit a van. The impact caused the pickup to swerve and collide with the bus. Bus driver Alvaro Tumbaga and his passengers suffered minor injuries and were brought to different hospitals for treatment. And topic of our news for today is on sports. Alex Iala is a niece of a good friend of our family, Nikki Cachuela, Nikki and Arnett. Yeah, pamangkin ni Nikki. So here's good news for us in sports. Alex Iala wins third ITF title, rules W25 Yekla in Spain. Reports by Lance Agtawili to the Inquirer.net. Manila, Philippines. Alex Ayala finally bagged her third International Tennis Federation professional crown after starting off Valentina Reiser of Switzerland 6-3, 7-5 in the W25 Yekla final on Sunday, Manila time, at the Yekla Club in the Yekla Club, the tennis in Spain. The 18-year-old Filipino completed the masterful campaign as the second seed of the $25,000 tournament, accomplishing her best finish so far this year and claiming her first ITF title since last year's W25 Chiang Rai in Thailand. It took 90 minutes for Yala to withstand the 22-year-old Swiss, who threatened to force a decider with her gallant stand in the second set. Yala dominated the opening set as she unleashed a 3-0 start and never looked back. However, she blew a 2-0 lead in the second set as Reiser gained momentum and took four of the next five games for a 4-3 advantage. The Rafael Nadal Academy Scholar won two consecutive games to regain the driver's seat, 5-4, but the Swiss netter refused to give up and tied the set. Yala took the 11th game by winning a breakpoint before taking control of the 12th game to become a three-time ITF champion. She first won her first pro title in 2021, W15 Menapor, also in Spain. Less than 24 hours ago, Yala ousted Lucia Paire of Argentina in their thrilling semifinal match, 6-3, 5-7, 6-4, to make her first finals appearance in the year 2023. Yala started her Yekla campaign with 7-5, 2-6, 6-2 win over Cathy Dunn of Great Britain before eliminating Nahia Berechocha of France 3-6, 6-1, 6-1 in the second round. She swept Victoria Rodriguez of Mexico 6-1, 6-3 in the quarterfinals. At age 18, Yala has been making history for Philippine tennis as she became the first Filipino to win a Grand Slam singles title during last year's US Open Girls. The Filipino prodigy struggled to start the year as she debuted in the Australian Open but lost in the quarter qualifiers of her first Grand Slam experience as a pro. She also reached the main draw of the Joaquin Championship only to be eliminated in the first round. In the ITF circuit tourneys, Iyala's best finish this year before W25 Vietnam was a quarterfinal appearance in the W25 Monastir in Tunisia last week. And that concludes our news updates for today. June 5, 2023, Monday. Maraming salamat po doon sa mga nag-join sa akin ngayong umaga. Sa Facebook, we had Eric Mooney and Jonathan Taban watching. And for those who joined me in TikTok, thank you very much. I hope you could help me reach 1,000 followers para po yung ating digital platform ma-integrate na po sa TikTok. Because I need 1,000 followers to be able to integrate TikTok with my digital platform. So yun na lang po siguro, and good morning. Have a good week ahead. God bless po.
Sigang inuulit mong sinabi pag sabi nila.
Saudi adding 1 million worth of leaves, vertical updates. Goodbye, Luna. Saudi adding 1 million worth of leaves, vertical updates. Goodbye, Luna. Philippine Coast Guard. Officer of displays flight exercises with US and Japan. China warns state-like alliances with the conflict in Asia Pacific. National security law in Hong Kong. Updates also on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Now, volcano showing increased activity. Ilocos College team rising road Asia. For the one of you. Some had 1 million for the leaves. Already updates. Goodbye, Buddha. Philippine Coast Guard. No fisher folk displays flight exercises